Caution is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we are continuing our top 100 games of all time.
We need to have a theme song.
We do need to have a song. Brad's list sucks dick and Seth is super awesome.
Wow.
Anyway,
best theme song ever.
Best theme song ever. If we can make it an 80s synthesizer theme.
Maybe.
Anyway, we are on 80 through 79.
80 through 71.
83, yeah, no, we're just
Your
doing
list really sucks at this.
Whoops! I have 6 new games.
Ooh.
I have 2,
On
but
this
the
one.
majority of these rows
Oh, okay.
from earlier, so.
Okay, so yeah, six new games for moi. So let's go ahead and get started with number 80, which is the first new one on this list, called Euphoria. Build a Better Dystopia. So not a brand new game, but new to the list. Another Stonemaier game where you are building, or you are living in a, what do they call it?
Utopian world.
And this game, as with every other Stonemaier game, is such a solid, just a solid game in terms of mechanics, where you have these different factions on the board that are all you're basically they're trying to build into each other's
Right.
domain. So if you can get them all there, you'll get points, and then you also get easier access to resources. On top of just gathering resources to be able to pay for other spots on the board. And man, this game is just super solid, and it kind of has that same bump mechanic that what was the other game that had that? Charterstone.
Actually, I don't know that because I've never played Charterstone.
Gotcha.
But it does have it. Yeah.
But then also there are these spots on the board that you buildings essentially that give you really good points if you helped build it. It actually hurts if you didn't help, but I also really like the theme on this. How you're kind of you have to keep your workers dumb,
Yes.
but also smart enough to be able to do stuff. So because if you get too many workers, then they'll all start to be like, wait a minute, this place sucks.
Right. This was a precursor to Scythe.
I think so too.
Because there's some of this stuff you can tell. There's some of its mechanical influences in on Scythe, just a little bit, not a bunch of it.
Right.
But this is 134 for me.
Okay.
It was 66 last year.
Damn.
The only reason it did that was because it has not hit the table.
Right.
For me
Right.
since then, it hasn't touched, and then I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's other stuff that I like better and stuff. I'm sure if I got to the table, it'd be one of those. If I played it, it'd be like,
Let's put this back up. Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those.
I gotcha, and that may be the same situation because I haven't played it in quite a while either. But I do remember really liking this game. You got any negatives?
I don't remember nothing about it.
Cool.
I have, a real negative.
I wish I had the deluxe version.
I didn't know there was a
Yeah,
deluxe version.
there's a super deluxe with all the. You may have upgraded it, but it came with his the special resin resources and stuff.
No, I don't have any of that.
Right. See, their one came with that. That was the first game that had them, and then Scythe had it and all that stuff. So you could buy it and replace them.
That's true.
And
That's
stuff,
true.
But all right, my number 80. This is one of my biggest drops right now. It's I don't know if it's my biggest without looking. It was 25 last year. It's 80 this year.
Damn.
It may surprise you a little bit. And the reason it's done this is because I haven't played it very much. I haven't even really played the app a whole lot. It was one of my favorite games forever. I play tested it forever.
Oh, is it unfair?
No.
Oh.
No, this was before that. This is Plaid Hat. We just talked about it a little bit ago. Summoner Wars.
Oh, good. It needs to fall off your list.
It'll never fall off my list because it's a wonderful
It'll
game.
never do it. Never.
But it just fell because I haven't played it. I used to play the app all the time too. Haven't really played it a whole lot. This is one of those games that suffered from what we had talked about earlier about how I think my gaming tastes have changed
Oh,
over the last year and a half.
Yeah,
where
you now
I'm
like
more-
good games.
I'm more Euro focused.
Yeah.
Not more. They've come into my playhouse a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I like Euros a lot better. So some stuff. I mean,
Well, here's the
stuff's here in
thing: it's like a
fall.
lot of Euros have gotten better over the years.
Mhm.
Like they used to be.
Well, they have to-
Trading in the
Well, they need to put some theme in them. The Euros that put theme in them are the ones that you'll see.
Because they've always been
as
solid
they go.
mechanics.
Right. Because viticulture.
Mhm.
That's a Euro. It
Right.
has theme though.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why it's up there, and you'll see as the list goes.
Mhm.
You know, that's why Dice Settlers was on our worst of 2018 because it was a Euro game, but the
Right.
theme was just.
It's the
Shit,
like the
you know?
theme.
But anyway, so Summoner Wars, I guess is super quick. Is you're taking on a faction, taking another faction, you battle it out, trying to kill their summoner, and it's grid based. You're not using miniatures. You're using cards that take the place of miniatures, and you're moving the cards. You dice combat. There's walls that you use as spawn points, and you build your deck after you had all this stuff. This game was I think it was ahead of its time.
Yeah, I think at this point, like we've played it like twice. We played it like 3 or 4 times in
Yeah.
a row actually, and I hated it every single time. But it's been so long that I'm just kind of doubling down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I play tested for this game almost since the beginning. The first
Mhm.
two, the first two things came out, the goblins and the
mhm.
Phoenix Elves. I think was the first thing that came out, and then after that came out, I was on so I play tested.
I'm
with the
wondering
team for
if I would like
the whole
it
time.
because now I like Magic, the Gathering. If my mindset has changed,
It depends.
but I really don't like that dice combat.
That's what I was gonna say. the dice combat, the
where it's literally just
randomness
roll, see
of
who
the
gets
dice.
higher. Yeah.
Well, but then there's a lot of side effects and stuff
Right.
too. I mean, I loved it. They had all those factions. I quit playtesting before the alliances where they merged.
Yeah.
Because they merged factions
Mm-hmm.
for that last one. The last set they put out was like 2 of them merged together to create a unique faction and
Interesting.
stuff. So I didn't mess with that.
Yeah.
And then I playtested for the app and played the app forever and stuff. I've just played this game so much. Like
Maybe I'll try the app. see
this
if I would
this
like it
game
again.
I've played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games. I mean, like I even tracked on the app. I think I'm up on like 4,000 on the app
Damn.
games of it and stuff. And
That
it's
sounds like a waste of your time.
no, it's just that you just get burnt out on that stuff after a while, you know.
Yeah.
When you don't lose.
I'm so good. I'm the master.
All right. Anyway.
All right.
Yep, that was my big drop.
79 fell from 74, so 5 spaces, and that is Star Wars Imperial Assault.
You said a rose
Fell from 74. So
even after
only
the app?
5 spaces. It's because I haven't played it.
Okay.
I haven't even tried
Gotcha.
the app.
Was that what that question was?
But I played, and that's not to say I played it like once, and then I've actually gotten through most of the first campaign. This was before like all the billions of expansions, which I own all of them. I own all the box expansions. I don't own the miniature packs and.
I still need to get 3 of those boxes.
Yeah, and now I have the every card is in the core set, and then I think these are tiles, and I think these are miniatures. I think I fit them all, but I have the broken token thing, which you were right, it doesn't fit everything.
Yeah, it does the core mainly, and then you can throw other stuff in
Yeah,
there.
I was able to fit everything in there. But Star Wars Imperial Assault is basically Descent, but Star Wars. But it's better. Descent came out with the app as well, but at least Imperial Assault is freaking balanced because you alternate taking turns. So before it was one person played the Empire, everyone else played heroes. They weren't anyone named, but one was like kind of the Jedi, but not really a Jedi, and then the bounty hunter and stuff like that. But it was campaign driven. You had your tiles set up for the campaign and the mission. But what's cool about this one is there were side quests, there were personal quests that each hero could go on to get like their special weapon or some special item that just progressed the story and made it really personal. You actually felt like an RPG. You were leveling up your character, getting new upgraded abilities. But I know for a fact that the app adds the fully cooperative. So now it's not me. It's not trying to find people who want to consistently play this game and just go against me. Now it's, hey, we can all play it. So
Or you play solo.
or you can play it solo. So,
This is why.
which is great. So I think once, because the goal is to make this a series on the channel. Once I'm not doing 5 series, then I think it'll be a blast because I think the app is probably really well done, and I think it'll only just go up from here unless it doesn't hit the table by the time we do this again. Then it'll probably just keep falling. But as of right now, 79.
So, all right. My 79.
any negative?
I don't think I played it.
We've played it once, but it's also been like 3 years. So.
I was gonna say it was like
We played it with Bailey and Megan, but that's all that you would probably remember from that. So
I know where we lived at that time. I do remember
Yeah.
that. So that's all I remember.
My 79 is one of my go-to filler games. One of, because I have a few that fall into there, so it just depends on how many. Because if the more players you have with this, the better.
Mhm.
And that is Bang the Dice Game.
Never played it.
If you have at least 4, but up to 8, I believe. Yeah, I think it goes to 8. It's hilarious fun. I mean,
Mhm.
have you ever played Bang?
Okay. No.
So pretty much what it is it's a hidden deduction game. All right. There's going to be a sheriff, which is the only one that's open knowledge. So everybody knows who the sheriff is. But there's going to be, depending on player numbers, there's going to be a deputy, there's going to be a renegade, and there's going to be whatever the bad guy is. I can't think.
Outlaw.
Outlaws. Yes, that's the word. I was thinking desperado. It was what I was gonna say, but, so outlaws, right? So depending on the number of players, it will depend on how many of each of those there are. But the rest of them don't know. So the deputy doesn't know who the outlaws, the renegade is. Renegade doesn't know, and all. So everybody has their own winning condition. The outlaw or the sheriff wins, and the deputy win if the outlaws and the renegade all get killed. The outlaws win if the sheriff and deputy die. The renegade, in my opinion, is the hardest one because the renegade has to be the last man standing. So,
No.
but you have to time it right. So the renegade has to kill the outlaws, like they has to time it right to kill the outlaws, and because once the sheriff's dead, then the game win is over.
So if
for the
everyone knows
outlaws.
who the sheriff is, wouldn't everyone just kill the sheriff?
Well, but the deputy, that they don't. I mean, because the deputy can. That's how the deputy finds out who's.
Oh.
Because the deputy will find out who. But the sheriff can't die for the renegade does not want the sheriff to die first either.
Gotcha.
Because if the sheriff dies, the outlaws win.
Oh.
So he has to kill the outlaws, and then it's one of those things that renegade has to kill everybody else. Sheriff just wants all the bad guys dead and all that stuff. But anyway, you're rolling dice.
Yeah.
So you roll dice, and they have range icons like 1 or 2 range. So you can hit 2 people from you either way, or 1 person from you either way. If a dynamite rolls, then dynamites you don't get to re-roll because it uses the Yahtzee mechanic.
Oh, okay.
Mugs of beer are health, revive health. Each person gets their own special power and stuff too. There's Gatling guns. Every time you roll an arrow, that's the Indians. You have to throw an arrow token, and once all the arrow tokens are out in the middle, then the Indians attack and attack everybody. It's just super fun. It's just a deduction dice roller that's just a hilarious fun time. And there's an expansion that lets if you die, then you become a ghost.
Oh.
And you can still do stuff, but you can't hurt other people. You can just kind of help
Interesting.
do stuff. It's a blast, though. I'll never get rid of it because
Yeah.
they have a Walking Dead version, too, but I'm not going to do that one.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, that
yeah.
does sound like it. It's a
And it
lot
was-
of fun.
And it was, really quick, it was 117.
Okay, so it
like
went up.
38 spots.
Nice.
Something like that.
Nice. Alrighty, my number 78 is a dueling card game called Exceed Red Horizon. Fell from 36, so it's 42 spaces. And it fell basically due to lack of play, and BattleCon's just the superior game. But essentially, this is BattleCon, the card game. But the difference between these two is in BattleCon, you have your character and your 7 cards, and everyone has the same, same regular attacks. In Exceed, you have your character, and they have a deck of cards filled with, generic attacks, but also their special attacks, their regular specials, and then their super attacks. But with Exceed, you have perfect knowledge of what your opponent can do in BattleCon. In Exceed, you don't. You don't know what's in my hand. but it's still that same Street Fighter-esque kind of fighting Mortal Kombat where you're moving back and forth across these 7 cards and trying to play cards that have a range and then an attack and a priority. And each time you hit, it goes into like a gauge meter, which you can then use to power up these ultimate attacks. What makes Exceed really cool is pretty much it's just that. I think it's quicker, quicker to set up and quicker to play, and I like that gauge mechanic, that leveling up, and then also, bam, here's my special card that will probably kill you and cause me to win. Every single character plays completely different. They have a bunch of expansions. They just released their 2nd season, which is out, and then they just did a 3rd one, which adds Street Fighter characters.
Right.
So they just keep putting more and more into this game. But this is actually one of those games that I recently got rid of because... so this will probably continue to fall off just for the sheer fact that I'd rather play BattleCon.
Right.
But, I mean...
Are they the same company?
Same company, yeah.
So why would... I mean, I guess...
Why would they make this one and then also... Yep. I don't know, because they still support BattleCon. They just had a huge Kickstarter to basically upgrade, fit all those boxes and into one big box. Because the really useful box that's under that, that's all the characters.
Right.
And then everything else is just other shit. So, yeah, I don't know. I think just they wanted a card game. Just like, hey, if you like card games, here you go. And it is easier to play. Like, I can take Exceed with me anywhere.
That's true.
I can't really take BattleCon with me anywhere to set up because you do need the board.
That's true. I was going to say, is BattleCon a card game too?
No. I mean, yes, but it's played on a board.
Right, yeah.
But,
I forgot about that.
Yep, so
Part.
that is my 78.
All right. Oh.
You've played this one before, and you just kept getting a shit hand. That's the other thing, is that BattleCon, you know what's in your hand, and then we have the cycle through. Exceed, you can just be hosed on drawing. And I think that's what happened with you.
Probably.
But you've only ever played it once.
Okay, fair enough then.
All right, my number 78 was not on the list last year.
Okay.
It's Baseball Highlights 2045. It's got a wonderful app as well. That's how I've played it recently. I have had it, the Super Deluxe version, sold it. It's going to be coming to me again with the Football Highlights 2049 that I backed, because I got both of the deluxe editions of that. But pretty much what you're doing is it's a 2-player game. You play through an entire 7-game series.
Oh, yeah.
Against another person. You can play it solo, too, against AI. But it's a deck-building game, loosely deck-building. You choose a team. Like, I would choose Boston. There's Kansas City deck. They've got pretty much all the teams. And it's just a basic deck. And you start with that, but then you recruit or purchase players to jump into your deck. But anytime you buy a character, it goes on the top of your deck. So you'll automatically get it for the next game. Because between games, you get to buy new players.
Okay.
The players can be human, they can be cyborg, or they can be robots. And when you place them down, they have an ability, and someone may say, it's almost like a paper, rock, scissors on some of the cards, or, this one, all cyborgs, get 3 hit, or whatever. It's, pitchers, the pitcher cards, may be an automatic out if this batter is a robot.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them are like that, so it's not a paper, rock, scissors game, it's just that's part of the card play.
Okay.
A lot of the other stuff is like you may put a batter down that says triple, triple, triple. And the pitcher will have to put something down that would have to stop those, or else it's going to be 3 hits and you run the deals and get points. And you play through the games really quickly. I think they're not 9-inning games. I think they're like 6-inning games or something like that. But you just play through a best-of-7 series. So it's like a World Series, and keep track of wins. Whatever cards you've played, there's a monetary value in the corner, and that's how much money you have to purchase for the next game, and then those go discard. But your deck will never grow. Whenever you buy a new character, it goes on the top, but then any one of the characters that you played the game before has to be out of the game. So you're making your deck stronger, but both of you are.
Okay.
And it's kind of done in like this old artsy style. It's got robots and cyborgs, but yet it's done like in the 50s kind of art motif.
Yeah, I think this is one that I was really interested in trying.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. And I'm really excited for Football Highlights, just because if it plays anything like baseball and it's football, you know. And
Right.
and of course they've
Football!
come out with the 4 teams in the box are. I don't care about the other 2, but Philadelphia is one of them, and Dallas is one of them.
Yeah!
Philadelphia, Dallas, and there's 2 other ones are the 4 core box teams.
We'll have to play that.
But then there's an expansion that I bought that has 4 more teams.
Okay.
Something like that I bought in Green Bay.
Are you if there's a
like
Chiefs
that.
one, are you just gonna burn it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I'll like use this toilet paper or something like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
That way at
whatever.
least it's getting used.
Just
Right,
shit
right,
on
right.
it.
But anyway, well, Kansas
those
City's actually
cards
not
are
one,
really
of
good.
the, not one of the teams yet because they were asking for deals, and KC's not even one of the teams made yet, but they eventually will.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a really cool game. It can be played solo. If you want to try it out instead of making the purchase, because it might be a little hard to find right now since they're doing a print run of it, iOS has the app. And you can
Sweet.
play it on that. It's really simple.
All right.
But, yeah.
77 is new to the list. It is a one versus many hidden movement game that came out.
Spectre Ops?
No, I hate Spectre Ops.
Okay, then it's the other one, the Jack one.
No, actually.
Right,
Oh
right.
man, that's what I was gonna guess.
Nope, it is Hunt for the Ring.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
it's hidden movement.
The new Lord of the Rings game that came out by Ares Games, which does the prequel. Well, not the prequel, but like Fellowship of the Ring, where there's two parts to this game. Where the first one is you are Frodo trying to make it to, and the hobbits trying to make it to Bree, and then you flip the board over, and then you're trying to make it from Bree to Rivendell, and then the first part is your regular hidden movement. You start in the Shire, and then you have 3 branches, and then you have the other people play the 4 ring race, trying to hunt you down. And that's your standard movement, and then you have a hidden board and stuff like that, and abilities. And then the second part, which is what makes it weird, is that the hidden movement then switches to Gandalf. You're tracking Gandalf's movement, trying to get the ring race to stay away from the hobbits. But the hobbits is you draw a certain number of cards, and then you pick their program path. So like they will go a certain route to get to Rivendell, and so that's how they're going with Strider, and then they have abilities. So the ring race are trying to find them, but you're Gandalf trying to mitigate
Right.
that, and it's very interesting. It is. I like that aspect because the ring race gets special abilities. They get cards and they roll dice and stuff like that. But I like that program mechanic is weird because normally you're the one controlling it the entire time, but now you have to think, okay, well they're going to go this way, so how can I block and shield them
Right.
the entire time? But another cool thing about this game is that how well you do, and it's very light, but how well you do in this can affect War of the Ring.
Right.
So if you start really corrupted in this one, there's rules set to, okay, well, now you're slightly more corrupted whenever you start War of the Ring.
Right.
So I just think that's really neat, and that they thought of doing that. So if you want a full Lord of the Rings experience, you can play Hunt for the Ring and then play War of the Ring,
Right.
which I really want to do. And then watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies and all at once, the extended edition, and never sleep. So
I need to play War of the Rings sometime again. I've tried it once and didn't hit very hard.
I mean,
but
are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, see, the person I played it with wasn't. So I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I
Big
think
time.
you have to be a huge fan and into war games to play War of the Ring because it's.
And
it's
see, that's going to be my line. I mean, I like war games, but it has to be the right.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. I'm totally down to play it because I have the expansions for it as well. So that's my 77 Hunt for the Ring.
It is really hard to find those goddamn hobbits.
Like, so she was the evil.
Oh.
Yep. Her.
It is hard to find them.
But they were. I mean, that's the thing. Is like with any hidden movement, it always feels like
Like someone's got the upper hand.
Yeah, that the person hiding has the upper hand. But the entire time, it's just like, well, I think you want this. If you do, like, okay, well, he had to start here, so we're not fighting him here, so he has to go this way. And it's like, shit.
That is one game mechanic.
Yeah,
Is what you call
mechanic.
it, that I have not explored. Like, I've never played Spectre Ops. I've never played
Leathers from Whitechapel.
Leathers from Whitechapel. I've never played your Dracula.
Fury of Dracula.
I've never played hidden movement games like that. You know, it's
they're
or Rebellion. I've never played.
I love them, but they're a delicate. There's a delicate balance to them because, in my opinion, Spectre Ops is busted. I think the abilities of the people hunting are just so far out there that it's like there's no chance. Letters from Whitechapel, no one has abilities. Oh, Jack has a few, but they're like, short. Like there's a shortcut. So I mean. I think it's very, very balanced. Fury of Dracula is the same way. Everyone has special abilities and cards, and it's just there's two ways to win. Fury of Dracula is long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one? Hunt for the Ring is like I just said. It's 77. It's awesome. Just the Lord of the Rings atmosphere. They did a really good job there, and the
Yeah, I'll have to try sometime because I really want to try Whitechapel because my wife loves that
Jack the Ripper stuff. Have you guys watched Ripper Street? She might like that. We've seen one episode, but it's basically a cop game set after the events of Jack the Ripper.
Right.
Cop game.
I was like, oh,
Whatever those guys are called. They're not sheriffs. They're policemen.
police officers.
Yeah, it's we've only seen one episode.
I think one's a detective.
Yeah, so basically everyone's like all frazzled and fucked up because of the Jack the Ripper thing. But yeah, no, I mean I'm totally down to play any of those.
All right. Well, my 77 is a deduction game. It's probably my favorite at the time I made this list. Called Shadow Hunters.
Okay.
I take it you haven't played this one. It would be one to play because it's a good one. It's kind of got a dark anime-ish art style to it. But what you do is there's going to be, depending on player count, there's going to be a certain number of people that are hunters. There's going to be a certain number of people that are shadow, and then there's going to be a certain number of people that are neutral. The obvious thing is the hunters have to kill the shadow to win. Vice versa for the shadow. The neutral people have all kinds of weird ways that they can win.
Okay.
If they die, there's one that if he dies first, that's his winning condition.
I think I've heard about this game.
If the person on his, if you are the neutral and the person to your left wins, so do you.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of wonky ones, right? Yeah. But what happens with this is a hidden deduction game with a spatial element because you get to move around. You have a little pawn thing that you control for your color, and there's a cemetery, a church, a couple different areas out here, and you move to these places because you roll a dice. You move there. There's some of them have different abilities. There's a place that you can go talk to I can't think of the name of the stupid person, but there's one card you can go to and you can look at a green card and it has a question on it and you choose somebody and that's how you can kind of start getting information about who people are.
Okay.
The church, there's cards, items you can get that are holy items that can be defense or attack or whatever. The cemetery gives you some dark magic stuff or whatever.
Cards.
Anyway, but you can get weapons and stuff, and you can attack people. To attack somebody, you have to be in the same area they are, and then it's a dice combat. The D4 damage or D6 damage, depending on what weapons you have. What's interesting about this game is the hit point track. It's like this weird spiral thing, and at each part, there's a letter. Like let's say your person was named Faith. Let's say. There's going to be an F, but there's two versions of that. There's an F that's Faith, and then there's an F that could be Fenrir or something like that. You know, I'm just picking a name. So
Fenrir.
If you think that these if you start doing damage to this person and it goes past that, then you're like, okay, so that's not those people. And you're going past 12 hit points and they're still not dead. So it goes up here and everything. Well, the shadow people can at any time show who they are. And when they do, they have this badass power. But then everybody knows who they are. So they're coming at them. Like the werewolf automatically counterattacks. If you hit him, he hits you back. And stuff and everything like that. So, but it's just really cool. And you can't lie. Like, when they're doing those information cards, you can't lie unless you are this one particular character that allows you to lie.
To lie.
So, It's kind of hard to explain. It's definitely a game you need to try if you like deduction at all.
Love deduction.
Because it's one of those. It's a Z-Man Games is who came out with it first, and you can still buy it, but you just have to kind of play it and see, because everybody I've played it with has enjoyed it.
What's it called again?
Shadow Hunters.
Shadow.
But it's just a really cool game, and I like the aspect. It's I know Bang was on this list earlier for doing the hit and roll and shooting people and stuff. I just like the special abilities, and it comes with the expansion when you buy it now. So there is the 2 versions of the F or whatever the letter, so you don't have to have the same a person for each one. You know.
Yeah.
It's a really neat game though. I mean, we need to play it sometime when we
Right.
have at least 4 people.
Yeah.
I think. But anyway, Shadow Hunters, Z-Man Games. It's wonderful. It was 80 last year, so it went up 3 spots.
Okay.
So it's a good one.
All right. My number 76 is new to this list, which is surprising because I definitely have played it before. But I mean, I can't remember exactly what year they came out, but that is Ethnos. So I thought it was.
That was a 2017. I thought.
Was it 2017?
Yeah,
It might have been. Huh. Man, this year's been long.
Yeah, I mean, 2016 at the very, very earliest. But
So Ethnos is a area control game set in a fantasy world that is basically a set collection game.
yeah.
Like, you just have these races that go in this deck that throughout the game, you are drawn from this deck or from these available cards to add to your hand to play groups of them, which the number of people in the group you get gets you a certain amount of points, but that also determines how many, okay, well, they're all orange, so I'm going to play them in the orange section, and these different colored spots are worth a certain amount of points depending on the age that you're playing in. It goes to 3 ages, so pretty much by the 3rd age, every single spot is worth a lot of points, and whoever controls those areas by the end of the age will get that many points.
It was 2017.
Was it 2017?
Yeah,
Okay,
so maybe
well,
you just haven't played it much. Or
I guess
something.
not, yeah. But we, I really like this game. Like, that set collection is awesome because every faction plays different. Like, the hobbits don't do anything except there's just a lot of them, so you get a bunch of those group points. The wing folk allow you to play anywhere, it doesn't matter what color you're playing. The trolls break ties, and there's just a lot of gameplay here, and it's a very, very solid game. That another thing is whenever you play a group, so you have a hand of 8, let's say you have a hand of 8 cards and 4 of them, you're like, I'm going to play this 4 group, I'm going to go into the orange spot. You have to get rid of the rest of your hand into available spots, so you can't like sandbag people.
Right.
Like, it's like, so but you have a hand limit of 10. So last time we played, I had the perfect hand. I was like, this is going to be awesome. But the game, or the age ends, there are 3 dragon cards at the bottom half of the deck. And once the 3rd one's drawn, I'm spitting everywhere, the age completely ends. Like, immediately. So I was just sitting there, and then the 3rd age ended. We were getting our ass kicked anyway, but I was just like, I was super mad that I didn't get to play any of those cards. But that's the risk I took. It is a very, very solid game, but they're not supporting it at all.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, if I could get past the visuals.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork's not stellar. I think it's okay.
Just like watching it on the board.
Yeah,
When it's on the table, it just kind of looks weird. Does that say Spaghetti Western on the side?
On which one?
Where your hand is. Next to
Yep,
C1.
Spaghetti Western.
So, okay,
games.
so that is
cute.
the same combination of companies that had Arcadia Quest.
Oh, okay.
Spaghetti Western.
That's funny. Well, it is Simon. I mean, it's kind of like a darker, realistic fantasy.
Yeah. It's just weird on the table.
Yeah, board presence is super, it's lame as hell, but man, the mechanics of this game are solid.
Yeah, and that's what I keep hearing, is that it's a good game.
I think it'd be right up your alley.
Yeah.
I think you would really like it. And I mean, I've just kept it because it's really good. I wish they would support it. More factions would be neat.
I don't know.
You don't got a negative.
Well, no, I don't know if this is the game that I think.
Look
it
on the
is.
back.
I have to. Okay, it is. Alright, I was like, I don't know, I think I remember this one.
But you won't play with all the factions either. I think you pick 4 or 5 of them,
Right.
and it's just random combinations. Like one of them is a goblin board, and you once you play goblins of a certain color, because you pick one of them to be your leader. So you can either pick color combinations or you can pick sets of people. And then you can take a token, instead of placing it on the board, you can place on the goblin board that you have. And if you like get all 6 colors, you get like 20 points.
Gotcha.
And that's how we were getting our ass kicked. So there's some luck to it, but there is some strategy as well.
Gotcha.
I really like it, so that's my 76.
All right.
Yeah, I mean.
Welcome to the wonderful world of magic. Hope I don't get AIDS.
Well, I mean, sometimes you can just get screwed. That's it. I mean, that's the only
sometimes
thing I
you
can
get
do.
screwed.
Sometimes you can get, like, people take your
That's
cards.
his life.
It
People,
teaches you lessons.
Yep, not to hold a hand of 10 cards when the game can almost lose. That was mad.
Yeah.
Try not to only go for seahorses, because someone might fucking take it.
Caca.
My 76 has fallen quite a bit. It was 33.
Woo!
So,
Woo-wee!
44? And you're going to agree with this falling. It's another one of those that you
Oh,
don't
good,
like.
that
That
I
you're
don't
going to be
like
like,
the game.
oh yeah, it's fine. It fell for me because I haven't played it a whole lot. The last expansion that came out for it was garbage. We both agree that it's garbage. I'm actually getting ready to play it with the family sometime
But I
next
hate
week.
the family, so.
Well, no, it's because it's, you know how we did the D20 rolling.
Oh, yeah.
So
We
this-
tried doing that. It never happened.
This was on
I
our.
just forgot.
It's hard to do though when you're trying to play games
Yeah.
for review and stuff. But,
Yeah, that is true.
But so it's on our list. We're probably gonna play it. It's probably not gonna make it move up. It's just because it's kind of played out, and that's Evolution.
Oh, gross.
My family loves the game. That's why it's still going, but it's trending the opposite way because Climate was just. I never touched Climate except for the one time I played somebody else's. I didn't back the
okay, I
Kickstarter.
remember it, yeah.
It was shit.
Just like
I
play
don't really
tested
care
it.
the flight. I like the base game is fine. Not stellar though. I mean, I when it came out, it had its time.
I hate this game.
You know, I really enjoy, especially with the updated cards. It made it a little more feasible to do carnivore
It's not really
stuff.
I hate this game, I hate this company.
North Star,
Yeah.
So I'm not going to talk about much. It's a solid game, but it's just it's one of those that just hasn't kept.
It just had so
Interest
much
there.
promise.
Their expansions were really big letdowns.
Yep.
Probably
Because they're a bad company.
in their defense, they never were a hobby board game company. They were mostly doing games like those party games. This was their first game that wasn't a party game. So I mean, if that's the case, you know,
They gave it a shot.
like Wits and Wagers and those things. That's
I remember
their
we
stuff
played
that
it
they-
at Gen Con last year. We played, and then everyone that I went with, they were like, "What was the point of the Climate? It never changes."
Yeah, it's not
Like they never found a balance, and I told them that when I was playtesting their goddamn game. I'm like, it either skews too quickly and the game ends because if it goes all the way to the fucking right in the heat, then a meteor hits and there's no food, or to the left, then there's an ice storm and there's no food. But then if it doesn't do that, then it doesn't move at all.
Yeah.
Then it's like there's no point. It was just like you guys had an idea, you didn't capitalize on it, so don't make it.
Then they came out with the kid version.
Oh yeah.
My first Evolution or whatever, which I never messed with to see if it was quality or not. I don't think the
Probably
base
not.
game was not that difficult to have a first Evolution, and I'll keep it because my family likes it, but it's just not going to be high on my list.
They can play without you.
No, they don't. That's the problem.
All right, 75 is also new to the list, and I actually just played the newest expansion, Alien Artifacts. Alien Artifacts is, according to Portal Games, a 4X game in an hour, and I would agree with that. For the most part, I mean, it's very light. Like, you are expanding, you are exploring, you are exterminating, and you are the fourth one. But I just think that this game is actually incredibly smooth because you have your faction, which I think they have a special ability. It's more like endgame scoring ability. And then you have a certain type of, you have your ships that you can use to either use them for their tech side, or their discovery side, or their attacking side. And then you have your technologies, which have both sides that you can either use for game scoring like during the game or end game, or abilities throughout the game. And then you have your planets, same thing. They make things cheaper, or they help you out, or you can use them for resources. Then you can also attack a neutral planet or attack another player. And it's just, I think it's a solid game. You're building a tableau. It kind of reminds me of Imperial Settlers. Pretty much like that with that. Okay, left side is faction, right? So the left side in this one.
It's another portal thing.
Yeah.
Portals.
Yeah.
Kind of uses that.
Right, and with the new Discovery expansion, I thought that added a little bit of more. It didn't add, like, it wasn't game changing, and it's not a necessity, but it just adds another deck of cards that,
right.
They're either wild resources, or they give you an ability. And they give you an ability. Well, or like a one-time bonus. But no, it's very streamlined, and I like it quite a bit. I want them to support it more. I'd like to see it just keep expanding and have just more variety in the ships that you build. But yeah, I like the fact that whenever you move, because this is your building side, and this is what you've built. This is your empire side on the right side. Whenever you move stuff over by playing resource cards from your hand, then you have to choose which side you want. Do you want a permanent bonus to help you with your empire, or do you want to use ships to attack, or vice versa? I think if you are wanting that 4X feel, this game will do it for you.
Gotcha.
So I really like it. What do you think?
It's a little boring.
Another quote that can be put across the screen.
It's a little boring.
But and I'll tell you why. It says you can do the 4X in an hour, and I'm pretty sure the last time I played it, I was like, that wasn't an hour. That was...
Maybe it's, at least it's not 6.
So I will. That is true. Nah, that's my biggest bone to pick with it, is it can be boring.
Yeah, you definitely can't compare this to Twilight Imperium or
for sure.
It's not a space.
It's just not gonna. It is space,
but it's not an epic.
Yeah, no, it's not an epic. But it is a very streamlined card game.
Yeah.
75 Alien Artifacts.
My 75 is another filler game.
Woo!
It was 82 last year, so it's went up 7 spots. You don't like it.
Good.
So you quit before the game was over.
No, Roll Through the Ages.
Roll Through the Ages, Bronze Age.
I didn't quit. Wait, that was the other game.
Roll Through the Ages, Bronze Age. It is just
shithole plague.
It's a
3 turns in a row.
It's a roll and write game for more or less. You have wooden dice. You have wooden pegboards. You're rolling the dice and getting food to feed to people, increasing your resources. You have a pad of paper that has you can build building civilization kind of things with your workers. You can build your towns to have more dice. It's just you're rolling. It uses the Yahtzee mechanics. You roll.
Yeah.
If there's you roll a skull symbol, it freezes, so you can't re-roll it. If you roll multiples of those, more worse stuff happens. You can get abilities
like a plague.
You can get abilities that help you against that, or give you extra stone if you roll or get to stone, or extra food if you get food. Just there's a lot of cool stuff. I have not tried Iron Age yet. I've heard that it just adds extra for no reason, so that's why I haven't jumped into it. I like the Bronze because you can play solo and just kind of fly through it. I can play a solo game with this in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, be done with it. It's a really solid filler game. Even when you play with 4 or 5 people, no time flat, and just play through the game, be done with it.
That's true, because most people will quit.
No.
The game
You're the only one,
sucks.
Seth. You're the only one.
Hey, you roll 3 plagues in a row, and I'll see how you feel, you hypocrite. All right, 74. Haha! This is not a new one, but it has fallen from 40, so it's fallen 34 spaces, and that is because it hasn't been played, and I even have the expansion, and I've been wanting to get this to the table so long. I want to get this one. I want to get Inish to the table. It's the holiday season, so all my friends are busy. And that is Cry Havoc.
Sorry.
Right?
You were talking about Inish. I was vomiting.
Oh yeah, because you don't know how to play the game, right? You've never even played it.
It's not Kemet.
Yeah, I know it's better. So
you should like Kemet. They have an expansion with
my name on it. I know. Cry Havoc is right under Blood Rage. Cry Havoc is a fantastic area control game where all the factions are completely different, and they have one of the best combat systems that I've seen in a game. So each faction, one is the humans, and they're all kind of about area control. Then there's the machines, which are all about killing. Then there's the pilgrims, I think is what they're called. They're all about the gem mining, and you're trying to collect gems from this board. Huh? I mean, and then there's the Trogs, which are the natives, which are basically just kind of like they do a lot with the board, and they're only available in a 4-player game as a playable faction. But what's really cool is each faction has like their technologies that they can use and put on the board. Like the machines have drones that they can move out and just start killing people. But what I really like about this game, one, besides the fact that everyone feels unique and still balanced, is the combat system where it's like you have your people that are involved in this fight, and then you either go, okay, well, I want to hold the area, or I want to kill people, which will get me points, or I want to take prisoners, which will get me points throughout the game. So it's and then the person who the person who's being attacked chooses where they want to go, and then so you can just decide. So it's like, okay, crap. Okay, they're going to kill all my people, but I'll still win and hold the area. So there's just that kind of King of the Hill aspect, or that tug of war where you go on this track. And I think that's really neat. Now, last time I played this, I was playing the Trogs, and I was like, man, I feel like everyone's ganging up on me. And they're like, well, you're literally everywhere. So whenever you move into a spot with an enemy, you have to stop there.
Right.
So I was literally so they couldn't get to each other. So I was like, man, everyone's going after me. I'm like, oh well, I kind of made them. But it's such a fun game, and then the expansion added more variety, and which is exactly all I asked for. So, yeah. But it doesn't hit the table as often as I'd like it to. I've been wanting to play it a lot recently, and I probably will make that happen. But that's my number 74.
All right. Oh, yes.
You got a negative?
Have I played it?
You have played it.
Then no comment. I was trying to remember.
I think you were sick whenever we played it. Whenever you played it, I don't think you were feeling that well. Because I needed 4 people for the run through. So,
my 74 is a Kickstarter that just made a lot of money, but didn't get the greatest gameplay reviews, and I'm going to stick with it until absolutely.
Well, yeah, it's the Kickstarter mentality. You put too much money into it, so you're forcing
well, actually,
yourself
I got a
to
good
like
deal
it.
on it. I didn't back it on Kickstarter, but I have everything out except for one of the little expansions right now.
Masmora?
But I'm not. No, no, that is not even close to my list. Massive Darkness.
Oh, okay.
And it's new to my list.
Okay. I don't think this will be on your list next year.
Well, this is why I'm holding out hope, because there's whispers that they're going to try to that there might be something more content coming out for this game that's supposed to fix some shit.
Oh, good. Like, make it not fucking boring?
Well, here's the deal. Like, with this game, like, the only part of this game that I don't like is how it gets easier when you deal. I like everything else about it. I like the gameplay. I like all that. I hate how the campaign gets super easy because your guys.
It's not even really a campaign. It was just scenarios.
All right, but your guys hulk out when you keep going, and they're super. You can turn it to kind of a campaign as they get.
Right, but it wasn't like a story driven.
Right. It's not story driven, but there is, like I said, there's whispers. That there might be another Kickstarter coming with stuff for this. So I'm
set in space like Starcade.
No, it's apparently going to be like this. I mean, but it's going to be because there's so much clamoring for it. I'm thinking there's going to be something that's going to come out that's going to, like I said, there's whispers.
Interesting.
You keep seeing stuff online about stuff, and there's this guy that's he's been working for the last year at least on fixing the campaign, making a campaign out of it, and fixing all the balancing. And he's been putting stuff out and play testing it and stuff. So that may be coming out too.
Gotcha.
Because I love I love the game. I like the dark light aspects. I like the I don't know what the term is, the general with their whatever they call those when you have the leader of a group of little minions. I can't think of what they call them in the game, but like I said, I have everything except for the elementals.
Yeah.
And it's just I
had everything for it too.
Yeah, it's I got a super good. I got everything for like $100.
Nice.
Shipped. So I mean, like I couldn't pass
That
it up.
should have tipped
I have
you
everything.
off.
Well, no, but I've it's one of those like I like Zombicide, and I know that it's not Zombicide, but it's like I just have it, and I'm hoping I'm keeping it in hopes that it's going to, because if you do a one play of this, just pull out of the box, we're gonna play this scenario. I like it. It's fine. It's good. It's better than Zombicide was.
Yeah.
You know, and Zombicide is one that fell off my list.
Right.
You know, and this is kind of taking that.
I like the big monster, like how those were around, but man,
the wandering monster.
Yeah, like so that, but that just sounded cooler than it really was for us. Whenever we played it, it was just kind of like there was no substance to it. You just went in and you're like, okay, I guess I'll roll dice. Like there was nothing to it.
And I know that's an annoying thing that they're going to possibly do some sort of a Kickstarter to fix the game. I know that's annoying.
Yeah.
But enough people poured so much money into this game. If it is a true fix, then
we'll get their money.
You know, so that's what I'm holding out hopes for. Like you said, it may not be on the list next year. But that's kind of holding that spot right now.
Right.
Because Zombicide, I think, was around this area, and it's gone now. And this kind of took its spot, I think.
Gotcha. Alrighty, 73 is actually a game that you mentioned, not this segment, but in a earlier segment, Epic Spell Wars. It rose from 86, so it actually rose 13 spaces. And basically everything that you said, like this game is just a raunchy, just laugh fest. Like you're just gonna crack up the entire time. I was like, what the hell? I like the different combination of cards, and I like how the artwork, like if you have the same glyphs, like match up. So you actually have this spell that looks like a spell that you cast. Not that you would ever cast these spells in the real life, but man, it is just something that one would not expect.
You can't play this game seriously.
No. Oh no.
You can't go into this being like, I'm going to win this game.
Yeah.
It's all just fun.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
Which I think is what Kat was doing when we first were playing it, because you kept dying.
It's not fun when you just die.
You get dead wizard cards. You get a bunch of them, which is like, hey, next time,
But if you die early on, though, you're just sitting out for the round, and you're like, yeah, I got a dead wizard card.
No, you get one every single round. So by the time you have like 10 dead wizard cards, you start the next round super fucking buff.
Right, but if you die immediately, you're still dead for most of the round. Is what I'm saying.
Generally, though, a round, I guess it could take a little bit. Generally, it's
I've never had it.
Yeah,
I've never had a round last longer than that.
Yeah.
But it's and then all the expansions. I have all of them.
Yeah, I
got the latest one at Gen Con, which adds magically transmitted diseases that you pull from a festering nutsack, cloth bag. The guy we were playing with was like weirdly into it. He was, and I'm like, okay, man, dude, I don't want to play with you. But yeah, like you said before, it's so much fun, and I mean, they're so meta, like that Trump card with the asshole. It's like, how appropriate.
Yes.
But that's my 73 Epic Spell Wars.
All right, 73 for me.
Yep.
Is Alhambra.
Alhambra. Never played it.
It was 83 last year, 73 this year. It's from Queen Games. It's one of their early ones. It actually won the Spiel way back in the day when it first came out. Aesthetically, like art-wise, it's nothing special, but it's cool because you're gonna have tiles laying out here that you want to put to help build your deal, your town, your Alhambra, your village or whatever. But what's cool is you have these cards that you have in your hand, and there's values, like the number that's on those tiles or what you pay. It has to be of the currency color that it's on.
Yeah.
And if you pay exact change, you get to buy again.
Oh, okay.
So you're trying to use exact card currency so that you can buy 2 things maybe on the same turn instead of just 1. And then you have to place it into your Alhambra, or you have 1 spot that you can set over here to save until later if it fits, because there's walls on there. So like you'll get points as you put stuff in, but then you also you score points for the longest wall and odds and ends. It's one of those old games that really holds up. I played it a couple months ago with the family for the first time, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Even though it was an early 90s.
Yeah,
Early 90s.
I have a coworker. He plays a lot of Carcassonne, and like I think he plays it with his
Carcassonne,
girlfriend. And he has a bunch of expansions, and he was asking me. He's like, "Hey, if we wanted to play something else, what would you recommend?" And I told him Alhambra.
It's a good one.
But
Sure.
so if they're into Carcassonne, would Alhambra be a good? Okay, because I had never played Alhambra, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be similar to the Carcassonne kind of weight that you're thinking of.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
so
Yeah, I've always wanted to play it.
It's a really good one. Like
the game store up in up in the city, they have the big box.
Yeah.
Man, should I get that?
See, I would just get for $20 you can just get the core game and try it.
Try that.
Or borrow mine or something, play it, because the big box adds a lot of it's module expansions, and a lot of them just add a bunch of crap to it that you don't necessarily need.
Okay.
The base box is just fine. All right.
72! My 72 is new to the list. And you have played it. Oh, what was your negative on Epic Spell Wars?
Oh, I said it.
What was it?
It was the fact that like sometimes you can die and the round can take too
I know, I
long.
just wanted you to say it again. Because you die all the time. It's hilarious. Anyway, my 72 is a game that I know you really want to play. Zombicide Black Plague. Funny enough, this game was like, by the time I was doing this, I was like, man, this could be really high up on the list, but then it just kept getting pushed back and back. But 72, Zombicide Black Plague, I set up original Zombicide years ago, read the rules, then immediately packed it up because I was like, okay, no, I'm not playing this. So Zombicide Black Plague basically took they just took out that dumb rule and added fantasy, zombies and fantasy. This is your typical kind of your dungeon crawl survival with just all the zombies that are rushing in while you're these badass guys trying to get these items and just fend them off and meet the objectives of the scenario that you're in. I love the fact that it's in a fantasy setting, so it's a really cool medieval, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen medieval zombies. It's always modern day.
Right.
But you do have these cooperative aspects, everyone working together, trying to run into buildings, meet the do certain things, kill off some zombies, and then they just more and more keep coming. I very much like this game a lot, and I have one of the expansions.
You don't have the Green Horde.
I do not have
the Wolfsburg.
The Wolfsburg, that's it. I have that one. And
Wolfsburg.
Yeah, and I haven't played that, but I do. Like I said, zombies are fine, and this game is very thematic, but it's also streamlined as well. But you have, your character, all the slots that they can hold all these items in. You're rolling dice, trying to just survive, and it's stressful the entire time because of just the sheer amount of people. But you definitely feel like a badass just mowing down all these zombies. I do want to try. I might, if I end up playing this more, then I'll probably get Green Horde.
Yeah, I heard the Green Horde's difficult.
Yeah, I've heard it's really neat though because it's orcs.
You're gonna buy the space one.
The space one.
Did you not do the space Zombicide that was on?
No.
Yeah, there's a
No.
space one.
First of all, no, because Simon is becoming. Simon is the Bethesda of the board game companies now.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but it's
how many times are you going to release Skyrim? Oh, how many times are you going to release Arcadia Quest?
Yeah.
Their substance is no longer I don't think the money is worth what they're putting out. But I mean, obviously it's working because people keep paying for it.
Yeah.
But then they're bitching about the games. It's well, then quit giving them money.
Simon's stocks went down 32% this year. They lost
Really?
$4.5 million in
Good.
stocks this year.
Good.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah. So you have a negative on Zombicide Black Plague?
I saw the game over there. I vaguely remember the box. I don't remember playing it.
There you go.
Do you do drugs?
No.
Like before?
No, you just pump them through so fast.
I have to!
It's the end of the year!
We played that one a while back.
It's been a while.
My 72, you talked about on another. Was it maybe your? Oh, I think you said 72 was your 101, possibly. It has jumped 60 spots for me.
Damn.
Your,
My honorable mention?
Yes.
Fuse?
Oh no, that one.
Okay, I'm like, what?
Galaxy Trucker.
Oh, wow.
So where did you have Galaxy,
Galaxy
Trucker?
Trucker was my 96.
Okay, I knew it was up there. It took a while. I'm not going to talk about this much because we watched that video.
Yeah.
Galaxy Trucker, though, I actually played it, and that's why, because it was 132. It's 72 now.
Played it.
Well, because it's one, I hadn't played it
Right.
forever, and I've been starting playing on the app some more. I played it at a friend's house. It's just that fun.
It is so fun.
Stand it and just see what the hell happens kind of
Mhm.
stuff. It's just a blast.
Yep.
You'll try it sometime.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. I mean.
But yeah, that's my 72. I'm not gonna.
All right.
same
And the
stuff.
last one for this segment, my 71, is new to the list. A Mind Clash game called Tricarion. No, I want to try that one though. It's
Yeah.
about emotions. But Tricarion is a phenomenal worker placement game about stage magicians. Which, whenever I first heard about it, I thought it was actual like magic. But no, it's you are a stage magician, and you have your assistants, which each assistant, like you have yourself that can do anything. Then you have your assistants that can do certain things. So you're trying to utilize these workers to the best of their ability, kind of like Anachrony. How okay, well this is a scientist. He's wild. They can do everything.
Right.
And then engineers can only do this. But so you're on the board. You're trying to basically get materials to be able to do spells in your hand, and that you are a specialist in. Like I think I was an illusionist, so I could do illusion spells. And there's decks of these different types of spells. So there's that unique aspect. And then whenever you go, you actually have to book like a time of day to do it, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And whenever you do it, like there's a benefit to it's like you can either go early just to go early, but then not a lot of people are going to show up.
Right.
Or you can try to do it, but everyone's vying for that time. I don't quite remember the specifics, but there was a benefit and a detriment to taking each, like
Right.
whichever day you wanted to perform on. You have ways like you can go to the bank to try and get money, which there's some dice aspects in this. Then there's you can go and try and purchase resources that you need, but then it's like, okay, well there's none here, so I guess I'll put some on order, but then they'll take a while to finally rotate in. I have the expansion, haven't had a chance to play the expansion. I backed their latest Kickstarter, which
Right.
was another expansion for this. But Mind Clash Games just does such good work,
Right.
like intricate, like solid mechanisms in this game. One aesthetically pleasing aspect of this game is your point track it's in the audience seats. So like how high your points are represents
That's
how many
cool.
people are actually
Yeah,
watching
that's
you. So, and this is one of those games where everything is tight knit. Like you're never gonna have you never want to have a wasted turn
Right.
because the game goes by so quick. We played this with one of our friends, and she was like, "I wish this had like 12 turns. There's like 6."
Mhm.
She's like, and I was like, "No, if you can do everything, then there's no stress."
Right.
Like the fact that you have to be efficient makes this game awesome. So it is my 71. Pretty much, I don't play it all the time because it is a kind of a brain burning game.
Right.
But like, I definitely, if I continue to play it more, then it'll just keep getting higher.
Right.
Just by how solid it is.
Yeah.
You got a negative?
Other than it being a brain burner, not really.
Cool.
All right. My 71 was 61 last year, so
Ooh.
jumped a little bit. You guys haven't played it yet, but you need to, just to say you have, and it's Couriers.
Oh, that's right.
Kind of the precursor to the Dice Masters
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but this was 4 players. You play 2 to 4.
Right.
And you have creature dice, and those dice. It's almost like a deck building game, only it's with dice. So There'll be random creatures out here you'll draw at the beginning of the game, so you'll have creatures, and they'll each have 5 dice and a cost, and you will roll you start out with your brown and white dice, and quiddity is the currency. So when you roll, and it's like a teardrop thing, you roll it, and then that's what those quiddity are what you use to buy stuff. Okay, everything's Q in this game.
Okay,
a lot
okay.
of things. All right, so like one of the expansions is Quest of the Gladiator and stuff like that. But anyway, our Cormageddon. That was
Oh my god, Cormageddon.
But anyway, so you're doing that, and as you buy creatures, they go into your discard pile, and then after your bag is empty, everything goes back in the bag. You draw out 5 dice, roll them, everything. When you the dice have creature size, so they'll have a side that just has quiddity on it, or they'll have stuff that has the actual creature. It'll be a little symbol, whatever the creature symbol is, and there'll be little numbers in the corners. So like this one may be the cost it is to summon it, this one may be their attack, and this is their defense. So to summon it, you'd pay the quiddity, put it out in front of you, and then it attacks all the other creatures that are out there. And if it kills them, it kills them. If it doesn't, it doesn't, whatever. But if any of your creatures that are still in your summon area, by the time it comes back to your turn, then there's a glory amount. So whatever their glory amount is, that's victory points. So then it gets discarded, and you gain glory. So and that's how you win the game, is you reach a certain glory number, depending on player count. 20 if it's, I can't remember what the player deal is.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's really cool because, especially the collection I have, and I don't have 2 of the expansions, but like I open up my box and it has hundreds of sets of 5 dice. And there's so many colors and so many designs. It's just really cool to open it up and just look at all these damn dice, you know. And then you set out your stuff. You put the dice. There's all these weird colorations, and some are see-through, some of them are marbled, some of them are, you know. And it's a really simplistic, fun game. And if you know anything about Dice Masters,
not really.
It's a 1v1 competitive game. It was their CCG version, where you would buy little packs and get a dice and a card.
Dice, gotcha.
Or whatever. That is what came from this. I like this better because it can be played up to 4 players. And it's not collectible, obviously.
Yeah.
It's not for sale anymore. Warriors is out of print, not going to be made anymore. I need to find those 2 expansions before it gets too much. But it's just a really cool game. You guys need to try it sometime, because it's just a silly, just for the jokes, because some of the creatures are just stupid looking and have stupid names. And,
I like it.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. So that is it for this segment, everyone. Stick around for the rest. Like I said before, it only gets better and better from here.
Now that we got past all the crappy games, we'll start.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't believe they even talked about any of these. Jesus Christ.
I can't wait till we get up to the higher ones, though. That's gonna be some cool stuff.
Right. But that is it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.